for a point of inspiration, would anyone care to do the recap? Everyone looks expectantly to Liam. Very nice. Yes, so you guys are currently all directly outside the Blackstaff Tower. Javi, you still have the letter in your hand from the paper bird. What would you all like to do? You have a few things on your agenda, I believe, as you have, the opera to go to this evening, and then the Blackstaff just uh, commissioned you all to go visit a monk up in the mountains. And then, as Leah mentioned in the recap, Hallister's also got some work for you, but you have to go speak to him about that.
Would just like to remind that Vessia said that I could dress her up for the opera. But I still did.
Very nice. So yes, you can go and
With a time limit, is that right? Because that's this evening.
yes, sir. That is this evening, and yes, and the
Tournament.
mm-hmm.
How long do we think it would take to go see Clam?
You mean the monk?
Yeah.
How?
I wrote his name as H-L-A-M, but I just pronounced it Clam.
um, like I can actually give you a visual aid. I'm just looking for the crud, not the crud.
They usually find out in the teeth.
Yeah. I found
And
a
then the sewer's a lot easier.
just trying to find the picture. That's not it. That is not it.
Yeah, so there's possibly visiting Hallister to talk about the
Yeah. Um,
egg trick is the black stuff work.
yes, and the black stuff where it's I apparently did not save that image, which is a shame as it was a very nice visual aid of oh wait, there it is. Ha 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 ha. Do 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 do. And I did load it in my overlay already. Look at me being smart. Okay, so basically, you all, the castle district is that little bit of building there in the mountain itself. So, like, you're basically looking at going out of like one of like the gates and pretty much heading up towards the mountain. So it'll only take uh, a few hours maybe, but if you're going to have to like go to like a tailor and get like formal wear, formal attire for the opera, you might not have time um, to do both and get yourself like formal wear. So it's like unless you either limit the amount of people you have to get formal wear for, as in only a few of you going to the opera, or limit how many people are going up towards the mountain, you might have some issues time wise if you try to do the mountain today.
Or we can just do it tomorrow.
Or you could do it
So I
tomorrow.
can, so I can, we can go speak to Jalister and get, or is it Jalister or Jalister? I forgot.
Uh, Jalister is going to be easier for me to remember.
Okay.
Yes, it's Jalister. Jalister.
Okay.
Haha, pronunciation
Okay.
guide out on my desk in front of me for once.
So we can go get his missions, or see what he has to, see if he has any jobs for us, and then get formal wear, and basically just pot around until the opera happens. Because the opera is the only thing that we know is happening at a definite time.
hmm Yes.
Would be my suggestion. Rookie maybe wouldn't have one. He'd probably just go with what you guys say.
Well, as a friend, okay, and then we can get so little booted.
That's probably a good idea.
Right. So you
Did he say
guys,
where he was gonna be? I've forgotten.
I'm sorry, what?
Did he say where he was gonna be? I have forgotten.
The yawning portal, my good friend.
Oh yes, I wondered if he would be something else. Okay then.
No. That
He
is
could be the young
his
girl.
that is his home turf, as it were. Mr. Hallister cannot move his thing. I've got too many images on this OBS. That's frustrating. There we go. Haha. I have done it.
Now we can fight him.
All right. So yes, you guys return to the yawning portal. The usual faces are there. No blood trolls or sturges at this time. You can kind of you see Volo sitting in a corner, working on his manuscript. He doesn't seem to notice you guys as you walk in, and but Hallister sees Rookie as you all walk in and greets you with a nod and a wave.
Hi, Mr. Jalister. Rookie heads over with a pep in his step.
Uh, Good morning. See you all told your friends?
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of things in the burner. We're gonna in that we got from Mr. Volo. So we figured this is a good place to start at any.
Hmm. Well, I guess I'll begin with. Well, why don't you begin with a few introductions? I met you, Rookie, but don't think I've
Oh,
spoken to the rest of your friends.
of course. He indicates each person individually. This is Miss Vetia, and Mr. Zav, and Miss Delia, and I, and Mr. Oh Jesus, what's your name? Shit.
Felmedes?
Mr. Belmini,
No,
and Mr. Oh, what was that? Sniffles,
Mm-hmm.
and Mr. Sniffles.
Pleased to meet you all. Uh, Full disclosure, I'll just uh, let you all know I work for the Lord's Alliance. Y'all know what that is? And Javi would definitely know what the Lord's Alliance is, being a resident of Waterdeep, and so would some of, I think, Dell. But it's a faction in Waterdeep, and normally person must be a Waterdeepian citizen. So the fact that he's kind of reaching out to Rookie for work is a little bit of an oddity, but I guess Benedict has charmed him a bit. But the Lord's Alliance is a confederation of cities and towns up along the Sword Coast throughout the north. It includes Baldur's Gate, Mirabar, Mithrhall, Neverwinter, and Silvery Moon. And it's basically a bunch of lords that have basically said, hey, if something goes down in your town, we'll come and help type of stuff. So they're very much about like, upkeeping the peace. Um, the Waterdeep's open lord, Lariel Silverhand, is the head of the Waterdeep chapter. But yeah, so they are a little bit of a little strict whenever it comes to rules when it comes to like their organization.
Those are fantastic.
hmm It's basically one of like those things. If you say that you're going to do something and you fail to do it, they really, really don't like it. But being members or allies with them or whatever does come with benefits. So it's like one of those things like you get something, but you gotta be willing to commit to it. hmm Uh, but yeah, at your lack of reactions, he just kind of like gives like a little nod, unless any of you do have one to that news. Um, and he's all says, well, there's that you guys probably know more than most that gang war between the Zentarum and Xanathar's guild have been causing a bit of unrest throughout the city, and the Lord's Alliance has offered some protection to members of the Dung Sweepers Guild, and I if you're willing to help them, uh, basically there's been things like coming up out of the sewers and you know the back alleyways and stuff are dangerous for them, and they're just trying to do their jobs. It's not glorious work, but we've pr- offered them some protection while they work the dock ward.
The bodyguards, basically.
Yeah.
Street sweepers, if I. The bone sweepers, if I what they do?
Yes, they're like the garbage men and like cleaning crew for like because they don't have like plumbing. So like they're like the people that will like make sure the shit that you like toss out the windows actually makes it into the sewers. That kind of stuff. They keep like the streets clean. It is not fantastic work, but
I can do it for a couple of days.
And when would you like us to protect these folk?
well, uh, it'd be work for a bit. There's if you meet them at 6 bells every morning for a 10 day, you'll get paid at the end of it.
What is the nature of the harassment? Perhaps we could so much as nip it in the bud and then not have to spend 10 days. I'm usually busy by then.
Well, unfortunately, it's just been a general sort of trouble that they've been having to deal with. There's been uh, reports of strange things down in the sewers, and they're just scared. Really, they want someone to watch their back while they work.
Ah, so,
But for a week, you uh, You spend like, a few hours with them uh, while they run their shift, and then at the end of the week, you'll get paid.
I believe that sounds reasonable.
The gangs. Do we know how many they often come into contact with? Because they might not need all of us every day.
Oh yeah, it's definitely some. You guys could probably, I don't know, do shifts or something. Um, but yeah, it's a few hours work each day, from like six bells to 12 bells in the at lunch.
Okay. How much?
um, let's see. Trying to decide what a good thing for that would be. Hmm.
5 million dragons.
Uh, no.
Damn it.
Let me just run that through the book. No.
Nope.
Our own island and all the bells we want.
So it'd be 10 days. About I think we could do like 150 dragons each for whoever contributes for the 10 day.
And have we already worked out a deal with the Dung Sweepers Guild or whatever? Like,
You have not. So you guys could, in theory, make friends with the dung sweepers and get like, your shit uh sweeped. Because I believe you guys settled on taking care of it. No, wait, no, you didn't settle on taking care of it yourself because it's dealing with shit. So yeah, you could probably get like a little bit of a headway back in the you know, if they feel like you did your job, you might be able to get some of your money back from the dung sweepers.
okay, cool.
But yeah, 150 each. It's about 15 gold a day for a 10 day.
That sounds like something I'd be interested in doing.
And
I mean,
Question.
yeah, and it's basically this is the DM speaking. Um, if you commit your characters to doing this for like the 10 day, basically that is what your character did for that day, and so at the end of that 10 day, you'll get paid. And of course, if something were to happen on said shift with the Dung Sweepers Guild, you characters would be the ones that would have to deal with it, whoever was on shift that day. So if you're not all going to be there, I'll need to know who is on, basically work out a schedule. And if an encounter happens, like we'll deal with that encounter as time progresses.
So he's willing to pay us like each 15 gold a day, no matter how many of us actually like.
Yes.
So he's willing to be like, listen, I'll stick with 15 gold,
Yeah,
so we don't have to break this up.
yeah, yeah. He's basically saying if you help, it'll be 150, and he's not gonna ask for a time card or whatever because Rookie strikes him as an honest man. So he is going off that whatever you're going to be honest in like your dealings with him, is like that is his assumption. So it's like basically if Javi says that he's going to contribute and doesn't, he's not going to call Javi up on it. He's going to believe that Javi did what he said he was going to.
Oh, company.
I'm
it's
just
also possible that we could break it up into shifts. And if we
yes.
broke it up into shifts, we could get paid 15 gold to work the whole thing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
like a small chunk of it.
Yeah. Basically, if you contribute a shift, you're gonna get 150 gold at the end of it.
Yeah.
But
Is there 6 of us?
yeah, I'm just going to say as a reminder, I will need a yeah. There's six of you, so you guys could do two a day. But if there are any encounters that happen during this 10 day, those two characters are going to be the only ones that are dealing with that encounter. So that's something to consider if you if split it up that way.
Sure.
Three
Thinking
a
like we
day.
said, we do.
Like maybe like one day on, one like rotate. Someone gets a day off in it or something. I'm just throwing that out there so that you guys can make that arrangement. Um,
I think it'd be fun for us to work that whole 10 day, even if it's just we work like 2 hours of it or whatever.
yeah, because like if you want to, you guys could totally get like the dung sweepers scheduled route, and like after 2 hours, so and so meets someone here. After 2 hours, so and so meets someone here. But again, if there's an encounter, it'll be one person dealing with that
Okay,
encounter.
so we are all going to be at all of these things because I'm hearing a lot of play thoughts. If there's an encounter, you're gonna have to fight the rats yourself.
Yes, no, yeah, she stressed that a lot.
Just call that my area.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I feel
It's
like if there's an encounter, we may all want to be there because there might be an encounter, and I just feel like that's smart. We'll just hang out to do like a 15 gold day, and if we have an encounter, whatever.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
We're not gonna get any encounters now, are we? This is all fun.
Everyone's like,
Hey, I'm just I'm
We're
just
gonna attack them now.
I'm just throwing it out there because if I was just like, "Oh yeah, you'd be fine." And then like, then it's like,
You're not.
you're not fine. And you're not fine. You'll be salty at me. So,
we would not.
sure.
I'm totally gonna say Javier is going to like look a little grim faced at having to get up at 6 in the morning. And probably ask, "Are you sure there isn't like an evening shift I could do or something?"
I'm afraid not. It's dangerous enough for the dung sweepers during the city. Like, don't really want them out at night.
Why do they have these conversations during the day? Wouldn't it make more sense to have it at night? Go during the morning.
Hmm.
Or am I spitting random words?
Um.
Like normally you don't have the street cleaners going around when everyone else is doing their business. They're like bin men that get up
Yeah.
early and clean every day before everyone goes to work.
But you're also
Fair enough.
considering that, like, this is during a time where there aren't like street lights and
Yeah.
other sort of things, and yeah. But yeah, they do get up at 6 bells or whatever, and it is also the dock ward that you're dealing with, not one of the fancier places. The security in like some of like the nicer districts might be a little bit different, and the dung sweeper, uh, what that shift in a different ward might be a bit nicer for them, but in the dock ward specifically is where they're having issues because that is where there's the gang war, and you guys know very well the shit that's going on in the sewers down there, and the things that are growing in those sewers that don't belong.
Ew.
So, that is why you were approached by Mr. Hallister.
I think it
Yeah.
works.
So it sounds as if we're going to do all of these, we have to first go to the opera this evening, then the Dawn
Cave.
Sweepers Guild, and and then the cave, because the cave's going to cost several days, and we could split up to do the cave and then the Dawn Sweepers? Or does the Dawn Sweepers have a specific timeline, or just like any day, which kind of?
For the dung sweepers, it is every day for a 10 day, and you'll get paid. So it's basically you show up tomorrow morning. If you agree, Hellister's gonna like tell the dung sweepers to expect you tomorrow morning. The cave deal or whatever could be done after your first shift with the dung sweepers because you'll be done by like noon, and then you can head up in the afternoon and be back home by dinner.
Oh, I thought it took a day or two.
No, 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 no. Like in that visual aid is like you're basically you hop out of the city and go up the mountain is
Okay,
pretty much uh it's not far.
not far.
Just a guy that really likes elevation training.
I was going to have such a nice night tonight. I have to get up.
I know. We're all making sacrifices.
Yeah, you're gonna guys are gonna have to like get up early after the opera.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a learning experience. A bonding experience.
What are we learning? How horrible the morning is? Why I don't get up at 6 a.m.?
Right. Well, Hallister will thank you all for your help in this matter, and we'll say like if this goes well, there'll be more work for you. I hope.
I hope so too. Thank you.
And he'll nod and let you all go.
We need to go get her.
Yes, yes, we do. Are you going, Alistair?
To the sorry.
Yeah.
To the opera? Uh, no.
One of the meetings?
N- no. I'm not much for the opera.
Oh, that is a shame. That is a shame. Is he the Lord's Alliance? Like, obviously, like bankrolled by lords. I'm guessing.
Uh,
What does Hallister do? Is he noble?
as he told Benny, he's a former adventurer.
Okay, so probably I've
He's basically like you, like an agent that has been working for them for quite some time, and he's just like
show.
the recruiter slash go between.
Okay, well that is a shame.
It's expensive. You're going to the Fall of Tiamat. That's been sold out for weeks. I was trying to think of a period of time. Weeks.
I was just looking back to the thing. Did it actually say on the message who we got the tickets from, or is it just go to the opera?
It did not, I don't think. Let me double check. Mm. It said, Renar tells us you are a good bet. He bought you tickets to the opera tonight at Lightsinger Theater in the Sea Ward. If you are interested, meet Mert. Yes, he did. At intermission, private box C. Formal tire is acquired for admittance. Would, if you would like, you could make a history check to see if you know who Mert is.
Sure.
22.
Well, I've been here a while.
Sure, go for it.
Good at that. So don't ignore me.
Got a 22.
All right. What else?
I got 12.
12. Okay. Yeah, you don't know who Mert is. But somehow, Valmides does. Um, Mert kind of rings a little bit of uh, a bell for you there, Valmides. An known adventurer and philanderer. There was an adventure, yeah, an adventurer and philanderer named Mert the Merciless, and the old wolf that was once very, very uh, renowned for his dastardly deeds. But now if it's the same person, it would be an older and wiser um, nobleman of Waterdeep. If it could be such the same man.
Well, there was an adventurer in Waterdeep named Mert the Merciless. He was an unsavory sort, but he would have calmed down by now if he's just still alive. Adventuring isn't. I profess lack of step through. Oh my god, I need to consider the life choices I've made getting into this line of work.
Very well. Very well, very well.
So it sounds like we need to find some formal attire.
Mm-hmm.
We do.
Um, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but I was just thinking with that kind of memory jog, Javi, you could roll again if you would like.
Memory is jogged. That was an 18 on the dice. Plus
Yes.
5, 23.
Much better. You would know that if that is who, like, oh yeah, noble of Waterdeep. Um, they're Mert. Uh, I have no last name. Mert,
The Merciless.
Mert, no last name.
Well known family.
Mm, uh,
Son of
let's
none.
see. That at the very least, if it's the Mert that if the Mert you're thinking of, he's supposed to be one of the masked lords, which in Waterdeep, if you're a masked lord, your identity is supposed to be secret so that people can't bribe you or kill you or assassinate you or steal your vote on the council. But he's very loud about the fact that he's a masked lord, or at least he's not very concerned with concealing his identity. Um, he's hasn't let his adventuring skills wither a bit, but his wife Aspa passed away several years ago, and he's fallen out of a lot of the politics uh, since. But he's still a masked lord.
It's the one that I've. I don't think he has a lot to lose or a lot to fear. So, we can do him, I guess.
It's also entirely possible that he's lying about being a masked lord, but
Maybe.
uh, it.
Crazy.
Interesting character nonetheless, I'm sure.
Hmm. But yes,
And he would be the kind of person who would be in contact with Rainer, right?
yes, because Raynar is the son of the last Open Lord. So, who Lariel Silverhand is currently, Raynar is the son of the one that was previous.
Gotcha.
His father left in a bit of a scandal.
I was gonna say that would make sense with the line of progression.
Yes.
If it is indeed like
Oh,
like son.
the no, no, no. The Open Lord is a voted position.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry,
Yes,
that's you left.
but
Yeah.
Yes, and it is. It's been a while since we've broached this topic, as it was like the first session. But the last Open Lord left in a bit of a tiff, as he was caught embezzling from the Waterdeep treasury. That's why the gangsters tried to kidnap his son, because they're trying to figure out where that gold has gone.
Why are we trying to figure out where that gold's gone?
We kind of are. It's kind of like the rumor de jour or something at the minute about
Mm-hmm.
the vast wealth that's hidden somewhere in the city or around the city, and no one knows where it is, and everyone's trying to find it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobles and criminals alike, and we're kind of caught in the middle.
Yes, and Lord Never Ember, the last Open Lord, has retreated from Waterdeep and cannot be questioned himself. He now resides in Neverwinter.
Are we getting any masks too?
No.
Not as a knob, man. I mean, I can take you to a few parties where you need masks.
Oh,
But yes, you guys would like to go to a tailor. That make me an investigation check.
Do, have a, do we have a map of the city or the sewers? Both.
I think we had a map of the sewers, not the city.
I mean, a map of the city came in Volo's Waterdeep Enchiridion, so you could always, if one of you is carrying that on you, bust that out and take a
Did
look
the
see.
copy of it?
Oh, yes, he did.
All
Of
right.
course he did.
was it signed?
That's been read then.
Yes, it was signed. It was signed.
My investigation is only a 9.
Hmm.
Investigate your guidance.
I got
17.
23.
Nice.
Right, soft stuff, please.
You're like somehow the newcomer to Waterdeep is showing up all of you locals, as Valmides is the one that finds you a nice tailor. I was just gonna say, like, Javi, you probably is just like, oh, mine's by appointment only. There's no way we could get in.
Yes, something like that.
All right.
Now, I don't know
6
how
costumes
accurate
in it. Sorry,
Mr.
you go.
Volo's book was, but he said that a good tailor would be, and then we go to the place that he said in the book where he would sell it.
It's the one that sold him his feathered cap. Yes. And so you make your way to the C ward, because that's one of the nicer ones. Sure. And find yourself a tailor. And fuck you.
I have fine clothes. Equable.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
I don't really need a full set. I can maybe
Yes.
get something.
That would be
Just
it.
have 2 costumes.
That would be up to you.
Okay. He might not aim for the full piece. He might just get something to freshen up his look. Uh, do we arrive at
The Electrum Needle.
the elect?
nice. Never disappoint, see?
Yes, it's run by this wizened old half elf who kind of like squints up at you all, and behind him is a another half elf who looks slightly related, but is kind of a little harried and thin looking. It's like grumpy old, basically the grandpa from Up. And directly behind him is like this tall, thin, Percy Weasley looking half elf, but blonde. Uh, two little like half moon glasses on his nose, and he just like looks like really tired whenever you all come in. And the grumpy half elf kind of like looks at you all and is like, "What do you want?" And the his assistant kind of rolls his eyes, takes a breath, and says, "What he means to say is, how may we serve you?"
The others and then step forward if. Uh,
Either
oh
include.
no, please! If you know what you
I,
want, go right ahead.
I don't know what I want. I just know that we want appropriate attire for the opera time.
Indeed, we do.
It sounds like you had a plan for me, so I'm gonna let you take point on that.
I will require a little bit of input, of course, but I can help you through it. He'll turn back to the assistant, or is the grumpy old man like demanding respect to be spoken to?
He's kind of, excuse me, got like his like arms crossed and is, yeah, he's like looking at you expectantly.
I'm gonna speak to him, and I'm not friendly to him, obviously, but directed at him.
Hmm.
We have walked quite a way. This place comes quite highly recommended by Volo.
Mm.
Undeterred, he will continue. So, we have been gifted a seat at tonight's opera, The Fall of Tiamat, and, well,
You don't want to
we
look
want
like trash. Eh,
the opposite.
well, then you've come to the right place.
Good,
But
good.
tonight, you're gonna rush me?
I was hoping you would have a few things that maybe
Off,
uh, you might need to work a little bit
off the
on getting.
rack. He's wanting off the rack.
I mean,
I mean, if you can do it, not off the rack, then bespoke. Just wanted to.
Not in a. You're going to rush me, or you're going to buy off the rack. I can't. I can't. Rua, you deal with them. And he like kind of like throws up his hands and disappears into the back, and you just hear him like grumbling and like kicking things over in the back, and it's like very much like that wounded artist grump.
Um, just turn around about when he goes, let me see the entry for this. And he just like pushes down the book or something and reads, and it probably says very colourful owner or something. Got it. You, you've skipped past the most important part.
I thought
fucking
they
gold
wanted to,
pass.
I thought they wanted colorful clothing. I thought that's what they said.
I love you, John. Yes, Rua kind of like has does like this little like kind of nervous fidget where he like rubs like his left eyebrow with like his two fingers, and he's just kind of like, please don't mind him. He gets uh, in a state. But I am sure I can help you all. Some of our more well, let's see what we have. And he kind of like looks up at Bethia and is just like, we might have to work a bit, and then looks down at Sniffles a lot. We'll see how this goes. It's like a might be something from the dwarven collection for you, my lord, if that isn't agreeable.
I don't.
Yes, he was talking to you.
I'm talking.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm sorry.
That time it was, yes.
Okay.
Uh, can I? Uh, pardon me. What is your name again?
Rua.
Rua. Lovely. Uh, is that typical? Elven, half elven.
It's like an elvish sounding. He's half
Mm-hmm.
elven. Friven is half elven as well. You think there might be some relation, but with like the age difference with Friven, you think this might be a grandson or a grandnephew of some sort.
Um.
Rua
Uh,
definitely looks more like you would expect a tailor, kind of like thin, straight backed, and very proper looking, whereas
mm-hmm.
Fiven looks like Fiven. Definitely a bit heavy on the human side with his looks.
So the biggest concern is that after having dealt with all of the stuff, we have about 100 gold in the fund, in the inn fund. I don't know what other money people have elsewhere, but
I
I
could.
certainly
I
don't
have
have
some
enough.
silver powder I never made into holy water.
Just saying, I may not be getting, the top rack stuff this
If
time.
we powder not made into gold.
Well, if you're just needing outfits for five of you, unless any of you others have fine clothing from your backgrounds, um, that would be 75 gold to outfit each of you.
How much is it for like individual?
15 apiece.
I can. Yeah.
I can get
Yeah,
my own.
I've got enough for my own too.
yeah, I can dip into that powder if he takes it.
A tiny powder for you,
I
right?
love the idea that your pockets are just full of this powder and you're just like piling it up on the counter in front of you.
Rua kind of like
Please
gives
take
give
powder.
kind of gives you a look and just says
I can
no.
whatever. You get me a cheap. Yeah, I will.
What is Valmedes currently wearing?
Robes, scholarly robes.
Scholarly robes and armor.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, it's like, well, I'm. If you want to go a bit cheaper, you could perhaps get away with uh, just an overcoat for 5 gold.
How much gold powder is that? How much silver powder is that?
He's not gonna
Oh my
take silver
goodness.
powder.
No, I spent all my money on material components and silver
Uh,
powder, guys.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
yes,
okay.
I'm getting that. Don't worry about it, Amy. This will last you, hopefully, and basically I'll pay that out of the fund. Um,
Paying that out of the party fund.
our thing is, he's gonna find that really awkward. This extends. He'll need his little puppy dog eyes and hands full of silver. To,
I just like the
What
idea
powder?
of him showing up and like showing up to the opera and what is the equivalent of a restaurant's borrowed uh jacket and tie over his scholar robes. But if you guys are gonna pay for his stuff out of the group fund, he'll be fine. Um, let's see. It's like yeah for so you guys can pretty much have like the pick of what they have in regards to Vethia and Sniffles. On the other hand, is your extremely tall on one end, and then on the other, like a bit larger than like your average halfling. There's a little bit of not as much selection for you all. It's like with Vethia, there's definitely gonna have to be like a bit of tailoring that Rua is gonna have to do unless you get something that's way too short for you. If you want something of the proper length, it's like I think with Vethia, he cleverly manages to get like, is she gonna go suit or is she going dress?
Hmm, that's a good question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Um, she's she'll go with a dress. That's fine. It'll be feelings, but
Yeah, you see, like, you kind of see, like, Rua was kind of, like, hoping that you would go for a suit, as that would have been easier for him to, fit to you. But, as you go dress, he gets a little, like, worried looking, but then, like, has, like, a flash of inspiration and basically takes, the bone bodice off of, one gown and fixes it to, like, one that, is, is of, like, it would be of a length for someone, a tall woman, but you're still taller than like a tall human woman because you are Goliath. And so basically he fixes what would be the shoulders on like a normal woman's dress to like the bottom of like this bodice that he's stolen from another and manages to like lengthen it that way. And so and it like, looks seamless whenever he's done. Uh Talented tailor and tailor's apprentice or assistant or whatever. So, like, what was a brief, momentary panic turns into a moment of inspiration for him.
I would make sure the leg is cut quite high. 'Cause I once watched The Vampire Hunter and she could not fight in a full dress.
Oh yes, that would help with the lines because you have very thick thighs. If you don't mind me saying, ma'am, I mean that in the most polite way. And you say like, and he's like not blushing at all, so you know he's not actually like hitting on you or anything. He's just stating a matter of fact. You have very thick thighs, ma'am.
many squats, but
What?
And so yes, he'll quickly accommodate that, and he looks like even more pleased because like it's you know looks better on her now.
I'm curious what colorway you're looking for of the dress.
uh, blue if I can be picky.
Yeah, yeah. You can be picky. Uh, Dell, are you going dress or suit?
I'm not wearing a dress.
Okay. So Dell he gets a fine fine looking black suit, black and silver suit for you. Javier, would that be a dress or a suit for you?
He's already got most of his ensemble.
Oh, okay, okay.
What he was going to do was add something blue to match Betty's dress.
Duh. Okay.
Uh, I'm
Uh,
not entirely sure what they have on offer.
he could either get you a nice silk brocade vest or a cummerbund of some type, or get you a blouse, or not blouse, that's a shirt.
The cravat thing with
Yeah.
some kind of riffled on the front or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, some they've got very many accents made from what is perhaps the same material as Vethia's dress.
He'll get maybe like cravat cummerbund or something trim, basically
Mm-hmm.
little trim things to add to his.
Okay.
How much would that be?
For that, like 2 gold.
Oh, cool.
Benedict, would you be going dress or suit?
Suit. Pink
Okay.
or like a light purple, preferably.
To match the color of Glitzin's eyes. Yes. He kind of looks at you a bit curiously, but actually manages to have a like deep periwinkle suit that you could acquire.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Rua.
Very welcome. Velmides, would you like, I say dress to a guy, but really, I guess it would be robes or a suit.
According to the Boros Enchiridion, the height of male fashion in Waterdeep is, and he says what it is, what it means properly. Way louder than
Oh,
typing like this
see,
right
I
now.
thought because I gave you guys the Enchiridion, I thought you were about to blast me some lore there, and I was gonna. If you can tell me what the height of fashion in Waterdeep right now is, you can have a point of inspiration.
Point of inspiration. I'm going to say it is bow dragon scale boots with a kind of like the broken cuff down around. What's that thing where they tuck in the boots?
Hmm.
Overly tight pants
Oh
with
yeah.
a matching belt, and then a just both are just in a color that isn't quite right. Then a vest that just completely matches, doesn't match at all. Followed by an overcoat with just long tails.
Yes,
So
and
probably like some kind of driving glove thing going on.
excellent. And Rua, you can tell like whenever you tell him, whenever you're just like, just make me a fashionable Waterhavian. He gets like all excited and gets everything. And for anyone who's all like, "Oh, well, that doesn't match," he just looks at them with like this death glare and just says, "It doesn't have to match." And
I'm sorry. I never thought I was playing out. Okay.
and yes, that's.
Javier thinks it's awful. Absolutely we spent good money on this. Like, he wouldn't say that in front of the guy because he has slightly more manners than that to be a tailor. He certainly would be saying that when he got outside.
But yeah, it could be that he was just trying to get rid of some of like the like something that was made from stuff from like fabrics that just didn't do very well, or it could be like very fashionable. You'll have to whenever you go to the opera tonight, I suppose you'll find out.
He's gonna get so much tail at the opera.
um and then yes, and then for Sniffles, would that be a robe or a suit, sir? Are you back? Oh, it's like a Sandrew's not back from his BRB. But, anyways, unless there is any other accessories or anything else that y'all would like to acquire,
Ricky is happy with the simplest things in life.
all right.
And this was 15 gold, is that right?
Yes.
I presume your supplies with the tiny binoculars towards the opera.
Or you can rent those. You can get those at the opera.
Sure. Um, Javier spends quite a lot of time looking at himself in the mirrors when going out. Um, this is not bad work, actually. Given such a time crunch, and he kind of looks towards the curtain or something that the old grumpy guy went through. Very well.
Yes. Well, you can should see what we do whenever we have the time.
Maybe we shall, whenever we have the time. And he'll like give him that kind of sly grin.
And Rue will just smile happily and say, "I would look forward to being able to." There was a really cool word I was trying to think of, and then I just blanked.
Privilege?
Yeah, no, outfit you at a later date. But I was trying to think of something else better than outfit, and I blinked. Anyways,
Well,
he's slightly flirty because everyone's slightly flirty with your hobby.
This must be a tiefling thing.
Mm.
must be.
Or it could be the bard thing.
I mean, maybe. Who knows?
That's a scary part.
Yeah, but with it's one that Javi is. Oh, I see. I'm sorry.
Well, he'll say his goodbyes, shake the guy by his hand, and leave the establishment.
Yes. So it's about mid-afternoon ish. Um, you
Sorry,
will.
what's the name of the old half elf? I just noticed I forgot to take it down.
I don't think it was said. It might be in the book though. Did it?
Might be
Fivian.
right. Okay.
No, he said it. It was Fivian. Fivin.
Okay.
Like Vivian with an F.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Also, I googled periwinkle suit, and they look awesome.
I didn't want lavender would have been too light and a bit too Dumb and Dumber esque. Periwinkle's a bit darker, so. Uh, Anyways, it's about mid afternoon. You all can return to your establishment until this evening, or you can do some more whatever around Waterdeep. Whatever Waterdeep is open to you.
Were there any other side quests we had to continue?
Not at this particular juncture. At least not that I can remember. It's not my job to remember what you guys are supposed to be doing.
My
I
notes are
believe.
very specific, unfortunately. What rookie does, and that's about it.
I believe our time now is really.
Yeah.
Whatever you would like to do with it, what you will.
Yes, if you guys want, we can just do like a little bit of a time skip to this evening and say that you were making all of the arrangements with like the guilds and all of the repairmen that we discussed in our off session,
Oh,
our off-screen,
yeah.
uh, our lunar interlude, as it were. Um, but yes, take a quick 5 minute break
Sure.
while I read over the opera things.
All right.
Rookie's first suit.
Probably the first one
Um,
you get to go to church and stuff because your parents were acolytes.
so
Wear a suit when you go to church.
His parents were his parents were minors.
and
It's
they
probably
could
the
also
first
be religious.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
mining god.
Yeah,
Very,
Kill two birds. It's fun.
very dwarven.
mined out their own church.
A church is not the building, it's the people inside, but sometimes it is also the building.
Or temple, I suppose.
There you go.
was like, yeah, I was like legitimately expecting like 15,000 gold.
Or it could be
Reason.
I went with the price it was in the PHB.
Oh.
That's a thing.
I mean, 50 gold is still like a lot for the normal, peasant.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like months
That's
and months and
15p.
months.
Mm-hmm.
Especially given how often you're gonna wear the things.
Right. So, is everybody? Actually, hold on one second. I've got a hangnail that's like driving me up the wall. I need to go take care of it. Be right back. Okay. Sorry about that.
My mention of the vampire hunter in the cut along the leg is a Buffy reference, but no one's to get it.
Huh? Yeah, I
She
did.
goes to the bank, and then vampires attack, and she can't find, and because she's all dressed up to go to the bank or something, so she grabs a knife and cuts
Oh.
all the way up her dress, and then because she tries to kick a few times, it doesn't work,
Right.
and then she beats their ass. So I was thinking about that when, like, so you would be able to fight, um, but it is a reference. It's
Oh.
it's like a
Yeah, I was obsessed with that show back in the day, but I've got a very short memory, so.
I tried. I tried to watch it a few years ago, and I made the mistake of telling myself, "Oh, well, you have to watch Angel at the same time," and so I was one episode of Buffy, one episode of Angel, one episode of Buffy, one episode of Angel, and I just couldn't do it after a couple of episodes,
Mhm.
and just stopped watching both.
Yeah, it's I
There was some tonal
absolutely
difference to made it hard to switch back and forth.
yeah I
I watched one and
absolutely
then the other.
love Buffy, but it's one of those things that like you have to really fall in love with the characters because if you're just watching it for like the plot of the show, you're and just be like, well, this is ridiculous. But as soon as you like fall in love with the characters, you're just like, give me more, I need more, 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 please. Which is, I think that's how a lot of shows are, I suppose.
Yeah. I just had a hard time transitioning whenever they were transitioning from Sunnyvale to the college. And
Yeah,
then, yeah, because I was just all like,
hold on.
yeah. Because I love David. Is it the guy who played?
Boreanaz.
Yeah, I loved him. I was also watching Bones at the same time, so it was like Buffy, Bones, and
Yep.
Angel, and I just kind of I lost all of them. All right, is everybody here? Cause Liam only has about 20 minutes.
Mhm.
All right,
I am.
Andrew, you here? Hello?
Nope.
Andrew's
He's gone.
muted, or he's gone. Okay, cool. So you guys are at Troll Skull Manor, getting yourself all spiffy and pretty. Wendell, will you please roll me a perception check?
Shit.
12?
Yep.
All right, so you are utterly surprised as you are getting into your suit. You're kind of like looking at yourself and like a bit of it's not a mirror, but it's like a really, really polished plate. And so it's really small, so you're having to like bend and twist to like see all of yourself at one time. And so you are caught off guard whenever a flying snake uh, just somehow appears in behind you in like the center of your bed, coiled up. Um, and by a flying snake, I mean a snake that has a pair of wings like out of its back, and around it kind of like hisses at you and flaps its wings, and that's what got your attention.
So I'll start swearing and grab my quarterstaff.
Yes, and as you spin to get your quarterstaff, like the snake kind of like curls in on itself, kind of like protectively, and you hear like a crinkle of paper as it curls up around itself. You can see like around its neck is a parchment that's been like tied around its neck.
Wouldn't it have been easier, like, hire a messenger? I'm kind of like try to like go over and like get the message off without like.
If you no longer look like you're about to beat it with your big stick, it'll kind of like stick its neck out and patiently wait for
See,
you
it's
to.
definitely awkward standoff for a few moments then, because I'm like trying to like use the stick and
Yeah, it's like you say like wouldn't it have been easier to send the messenger, and the snake kind of gives you like this glinty eye as if to say, what do you think I am? uh kind of, yeah, tense moment.
kind of like cautiously reach forward, like don't bite me.
It kind of its forked tongue kind of at, out at your hand just to make you jump, and then it settles and lets you get
Example. All right, and I guess I get the message.
Yeah, you roll the paper, and it is just a handwritten note, uh, one or two sentences, or two statements, really, I guess, and it just says, "Want to be part of something big? Speak to Davil Starsong at the Yawning Portal."
Okay, and that's it.
That's all it says.
I'll kind of like fold the note up and kind of like put it in my pocket, and I guess we'll deal with that in a little bit later. Are you going to leave now?
The snake kind of at you.
Great.
Like, I was trying to say it hisses, but then also trying to make the sound at the same time, and that's how it came out. Hisses at you, and just kind of like curls up like a lazy dog, just kind of like watching you get ready.
No.
What was that?
At least they didn't throw a brick through the window. Although I'm not sure how this. So yeah, I'll finish getting ready.
Yeah, like the moment like you stop paying attention to it, the snake gets bored and like flaps its wings and like scurries out your your bedroom through like a hole that hasn't been repaired yet that leads to the outside. And you kind of like peek through the grimy window and see it like flapping away.
um, so I'll finish getting ready and then go back downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
About how much time do we have before? Are we pretty much getting ready to go now, or?
Yes. It's like if you wanted, you could miss the opera and just show up at intermission because your meet isn't until intermission. But if you want to be at the opera, you would have to leave now because it's nightfall or close to it.
Um, I do my hobby.
Probably isn't difficult.
I was gonna say Rookie's itching to go, so he's probably hanging around Javi as well.
Yeah, Javi has made no secret that he has taken the master bedroom. Next session. Next session.
Hours would this be?
It would be about halfway through the opera. I could be mean and say because it's an opera about Tiamat, there's one act for each head. Uh, but
Oh fuck!
there's three acts, and the intermission is between the second and third.
Okay. So a couple, like she'll miss a couple of hours of the show,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pull out the note and hand it to him.
Pull it out. He'll like mage hand it over to himself or something while he's still like holding this costume. It's like it's not every day you get to go and see the opera. And the note is there, and he's just reading through it quickly.
Not every day you get to be part of something big.
I mean, I do like. I also like the opera a lot.
You
Do
speak
you
over
want
it.
company?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you wanna go to the opera, let me know you wanna come with me.
Oh, why are you such a bad influence? I thought I was going to have such a night of culture.
I never promised that I was a good influence.
Now you want to make song?
I have a feeling about this
Mm,
one.
I have a feeling too, and I would like to have your back, but you know the lambs we are herding around the city. They are going to get slaughtered at the opera if one of us aren't there.
I could see if Sniffles wants to come along.
Oh. I guess if you trust him not to shoot you in the back or the foot or something.
You have to admit, the last time I had
no, there is no doubt that it would be an interesting night.
Did you ever get that suit laundered, by the way?
Which one was that? I forget.
It's probably I have a tab. So
I mean, I left a lot of my wardrobe back at my folks' place.
I don't know. I'm going to go, and I'll just sneak back in for intermission and deal with this other stuff.
Does it have to be tonight?
I mean, the note doesn't exactly say, but
It does
these
not.
things you don't always want to leave these things waiting.
Oh, but I'm always going to be wondering where did that Tiamat? Oh, this is an origin story. If we're just going to see the end and the fall, won't be more emotionally invested. At this point, it's like turned around to you and like the costume's back in the bag, and the note is kind of floating between you both.
Mm.
I suppose we could visit till tomorrow.
Do I get? And
I'm
this
sorry.
note is urgent. Do I get the sense that it is urgent? Urgent. This note,
Mm-mm.
or is it like something is going to be happening?
No, there's like no timeline if from like the way that you uh know of dealings in Waterdeep, I would say like, if something was urgent, it would say like at once, the way the Black Staff's message did, or like, at your earliest convenience, or like there would be some kind of like coded
I see.
language, uh but like with the invitation for Mert, gave you a specific time and place. Like this did not. Like usually, if
Mhm.
there's a specific time and specific place, you're given it.
Tell you what, how about a lovely night of opera, and then
You could go together after.
we'd be fashionably late, whatever this is.
All right.
I mean, it's their own fault. They, didn't tell us when to be there, and you,
Okay.
you probably get the sense he is trying to weasel out of this, but in the most charming way possible. Yes.
I had a feeling you would say that, so we'll go to the opera and then flip over to the yawning portal and see what's up.
I feel like being, seen at the opera will have advantages of its own. This Mert fellow seems to be a man of means. And when was the last time weren't thinking about business?
I'm always
Oh,
thinking about business.
That's
well,
why she's
tonight,
willing to abandon you all.
well, tonight, and he sort of slips an arm around your shoulders, and we're both like walking towards the door. Tonight, you are going to think about the fall of Tiamat, and this like hand comes out, and there is another illusion, uh, like the name Fall of Tiamat in lights, kind of thing.
That's a terrible influence on me.
All right.
To each other.
And I suppose that is a good as place as any to end it there, as Javier has managed to charm his erstwhile companion into not abandoning them in their time of glory and costume. All right.